Meeting number 2. So, last time wow, this year's really high. Is it supposed to be this high?
It adjusts. Actually, that might be the lowest it goes.
Okay. We kind of talked about some things that you wanted to see change in your class and things like to get kids more engaged, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is our little follow-up. We are going to talk about some things that you can actually use in class, and our next step is like trying to integrate that into a lesson just to see how kids react and respond to it, okay?
Okay.
So I have a checklist of things to keep in mind, and oh no, where's my pen? Let me grab my pen. Oh, you have a pen. Okay. I'm gonna go through this with you. There's one part that you kind of need to do beforehand, before even planning or creating the tech tool, and then the other half is after you've selected the tool that you do want to use, making sure you're using it correctly, that you know how to use it, and all this. And this is just something that you can kind of keep track of yourself as well. So if you see the top part, the content checklist, that's essentially what you do anyways as a teacher for everything that you guys do anyways. So things to keep in mind when you are starting to integrate the technology to engage your students. Always make sure that whatever you're doing is addressing the standards and objectives. I think we already know that. Before you use the tech tool, make sure that you can identify what it is that you need your students to know before and after. What do they need to know before using it? What do they need to know after it? And then kind of going along with that, making sure that you understand or that you know what you want the outcome of the kids to be. Like, what is it that you want them to actually know when it's all over?
Yeah.
And then making sure that the kids know the language that's being used, whether it's content specific for what you're teaching in the moment, or if it's tech tool related. If they don't understand what a certain step in using the technology means, then they won't be able to use it the right proper way and get everything from it. So just make sure that if there's anything that you need to go over with them before you use it, make sure that they know what's going on. And then again, make sure that they know how to use the technology. Don't throw them to the wolves for the first time using something that they don't know how to use or navigate. Just make sure that you have planned a little segment where you can kind of instruct them on how to use the tool, if it's something that they need a little bit of guidance for.
Scaffolding.
Is there anything on that first checklist that you see that you think you want to change, tweak? Do you want to add something to this, or take anything out?
I think that one's good.
Okay.
It kind of answered the question I had. Just the checklist in general. I saw, where'd it go? Identify knowledge that students need to know. I was gonna ask if obviously that needed to include the technology knowledge, but that's down here.
Great.
So,
I would say that
fine.
first one is more content based, and then that last. But I mean, make sure that everything is clear for them. And feel free to take notes on this if you want to. And then integrating technology in the classroom. That's that second checklist down there. We haven't quite narrowed down the piece that you're using, so this is a little bit more generic. And I do plan on tweaking it once I know what it is you want to try to use. But these are just things that as you start to integrate it into the classroom, keep in mind. So make sure that you understand what you're using and that you can like troubleshoot any issues, because there's nothing more awkward than, you think you have this great lesson with this great tech tool and then it doesn't work in class and you don't know how to fix it because you've never used it before or you aren't familiar with it. But yeah, make sure you just understand the tool and don't just use it because, anybody tells you to. Make sure that whatever it is that you're using, you can meet all of the needs of your students. Make sure that you can accommodate if accommodations are needed. Make sure you can kind of manipulate it if you need to record something so that they can hear you saying instructions for each step or something like that. Just make sure that your integration is addressing everybody. But again, we do that in class anyway, so like that's not anything new for you. Make sure that you are integrating curriculum into the technology. Don't just, for the sake of using tech, let them just do whatever it is they want to do on it. Make sure that there's some value in it, curriculum-wise. Make sure that everything is working. Again, that's what happens. The review rules and expectations for using technology, that kind of goes along with the top checklist that make sure that the kids understand how to use the technology, but make sure that they understand that there are expectations, because if you end up doing something like Padlet or something interactive where people can post publicly, they're being appropriate.
Yeah.
And then demonstrate how to use technology before kids use it. Again, that's just kind of what we do anyways. We model writing for our students. We model identifying pieces of literature or aspects in literature.
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure they understand how to use it. So modeling is always a good idea. Any questions about that list?
Pretty straightforward.
Okay. If you want to add anything, if you want to take anything out, let me know. Or if you think that there needs to be more specific checkpoints, let me know.
Okay.
So that being said, we need to discuss the tech tool that you want to try. Have you thought about anything or any of the options that we talked about last time? Is there anything new that you might want to try?
I liked the Snap Stories.
Yeah. Is there anything coming up that you could use that for and apply it to in the moment?
Probably. I mean, we're starting new books and all that process, so
yeah.
that could be good for like summaries or characterization.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So I can use I like that idea for like openings and closings.
Oh.
But for something more substantial, I guess, for actual instruction time, kind of want to look at what you did PD on the Pear Deck.
Okay. Okay.
Because that was really cool.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
You
really
wanna
cool.
you wanna look at Pear Deck? That is like a very interactive resource. So that'd be an easy way to get them involved in the lecture itself.
Yeah, and since I have laptops in my room permanently now, I feel like that'd be
Thanks, Achieve.
yeah, I feel like that'd be something good to master because it's interactive and since I can do it all the time right now,
Okay.
if the internet works.
Yeah.
you know,
Valid point. Fair point.
I think that'd be fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to walk you through that and show you how that a little bit more in detail than I did go on professional development because I didn't have a lot of time. Is there a day or time that you would want to get together and talk about it, or do you want me to model for your students one day, or do you want to co-teach, or do you just want like a one-on-one session? What
Let's
do you
do
feel?
one-on-one.
One-on-one?
I don't learn unless I do it.
Okay.
So,
Same.
we just do the election day. Kids won't be here.
Okay, so
November 3rd.
the 3rd.
Yeah.
All right. Any time of the day? Do you prefer morning, afternoon?
Afternoon's fine.
Okay.
I think I have PLCs in the morning.
Okay. Let me write this down. So November 3rd, afternoon. We'll just, obviously the day of, we'll touch base and see what time works, because we'll probably have faculty meetings, department meetings, PLC meetings.
All the meetings.
All the meetings.
None of the planning.
None of the planning. Sounds about right. Okay, so I'll put something together. I'll make a little interactive like presentation to just like play around with and make sure that you understand the teacher side and the like student view
Yeah,
side.
that'd be good because like I said, I have to do something before I learn how to
Right.
actually do it.
I feel that. And it'll be just in time for when we get all of our students back face to face.
So excited.
So here is just kind of an updated checklist. It's pretty much everything from before. I just specified the second half of the checklist, integrating tech into the class and curriculum, for Pear Deck.
Okay.
So just making sure that you understand and can troubleshoot Pear Deck if there's any issues, having that conversation with your children before using it on appropriate usage, and ensuring that they don't take advantage of the platform, because it does post answers publicly. So just making sure that they understand, use appropriate language, be kind, stuff like that. So that's just going to be a checklist to keep in mind when you actually start kind of planning and really getting your own personal Pear Deck kind of ready to go in the class. So first I'm going to show you how to get the add-on, because it is an add-on on Google Slides. So like here's my desktop view of slides, and you would go up to add-ons. So right now it just looks like a normal Google Slides.
Yeah.
But if you hit add-ons, for me, I already have it. So I go to where it says Pear Deck, and I open it, and it pops up right here. So all the like tools and options I have to like use in the slideshow is going to be right there. And then when I'm done with it, if I don't want to use it anymore, I can just exit out of it. So go ahead and pull up your own Google Drive and open a blank or a Google Slides that you are working on right now if you have one.
Okay.
but this is just going to be to show you how to get the add-on.
Okay.
So right at the top, the toolbar where it says add-ons.
Alright.
And then you're going to go to get add-ons.
Oh, okay.
And then this takes you kind of like to the store. And Pear Deck actually has been popping up when I show other teachers, like right there.
Yeah.
But sometimes you might have to Google it. But you just follow the prompts, install,
Okay.
connect it to your Gmail. You have to allow. And then once it's installed, give it a minute.
Okay.
And now go back up to add-ons like I did. And there you have it. It's already there. So Pear Deck for Google, open. And now you have the toolbar.
Nice.
Okay, so if you insert on a new slide here, let's say you want your kids to answer some sort of question, because you know you said you want to use this for like guided reading questions while you read the text, so this way it can be a little bit more interactive. You can, once you get to a point where you want them to answer a question, you can pause the reading, post the question on the board, and then you choose. Do you want it to be like a multiple choice where everybody answers the question, or do you want them to write their own response? So whatever one you want, let's say you want them to like write their text. You'll click that and just hit update. And you'll just type your question on the slide, right like that. So when the students are in like their version of Pear Deck, they'll see that question, but they'll also on the other side be given a text box to start typing their answer in. So you can give everybody a moment to kind of answer that question, and on your end, and you can either put it on display for everybody to see in real time, the answers popping up, or you can keep just the question on the board and you monitor answers, and then when you're ready, you can like show the class. But you'll see everybody's answers start to come in.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. And then the same for any of the other choices. If you do multiple choice, you'll start seeing people answering that question.
Yeah.
And then, oh no, you're fine. You can add audio. So if you end up making this assignment for like the digital days when they're at home, and you do it student paced, you can record yourself reading the slide. For those students who have accommodations to where they might need things read to them, or some students just are better at that, so you can give that option. Okay, so then when you're ready to start the lesson, you'll hit this, and this is where you decide if it's student paced. So maybe this is going to be like homework, or maybe just in class one day you want the kids to do it at their own pace. You can make it student paced, and that means that they can go through it at their own volition. And then if you want instructor pace, which I think would be best initially, so that they can't go to the next slide until you're ready for them to go to the next slide. So you pick whichever one you want. Go for it. You pick.
So if I want my online kids to do the same thing that my in-class kids are doing, could I just make the same presentation and then I guess just default it to student pace? Could I turn that off in class?
What you would have to do is basically you would start 2 different lessons. So let's say we're starting this lesson for your kids digitally. So
whoops.
Just go back to untitled. Yeah. Hit start lesson again. Hit student pace. And so now you have to make sure you're signed into the right account. So what you would do is in the instructions for them on Canvas is you would have them go to join pd.com. They always, and then give them that code. And then go back up to the other one that you opened first.
Oh, okay.
And then, because this is the teacher paced one that you would want in your class, so in class they would go to join PD and see it's a different code.
Oh, okay.
So it would be the same information, but you're going to be keeping the pace in class while the kids who are at home, they can sign on whenever they wake up and do it. Okay, so you would just have to open it twice.
So I don't have to make 2 separate?
Nope.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. You just open them 2 different start lessons, and you can make one for each of your classes and post a different code for each of your classes on digital days. So that they're still doing it, but you can keep the classes separated by answers.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and I'll do that one. So this one's the teacher paced one. So I'm going to go to join PD. And so now this is what you created. The first one was like a multiple choice. So the students will see this. I see the question, and now I see the answers. So I'm going to pick an answer. And so whenever you're ready, you can change the slide. Oh,
Okay.
So like when you're ready to move on, when everybody has answered, you would just hit the next. So you could see, I'm sorry, go back, I should have mentioned. See where it says 1 of 1 responses?
Yeah.
So you can keep track of, okay, I have 16 students here today and I have 14 who've responded. All right, guys, we're waiting on 2 more of you. Go ahead and pick an answer.
Okay.
Your next slide is going to be what they answered. But now I see this. So I won't see the answer slide, only you will.
Yeah.
So then you give that question, what does it mean to stereotype?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're asking them to make a prediction or, you know, make an educated guess. Or maybe you've already talked about it and it's a review. This could be like an activating strategy the day you come back. So they'll type and then 1 of 1 responses. You see it. I don't even have to hit enter. It pops up in real time.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so then when you're ready, you can move on. And so I see it. How does this work?
Okay.
And then I can start typing, and then I can even add another response. So maybe you say, okay, somebody said XYZ. I want you to elaborate a little bit on that. Like, give me a little bit more so I can add another response.
Yeah, that's
without
really cool.
calling them out in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You can just say that, and they can go back and add another answer.
Yeah.
And then later you'll be able to see who it was.
Yeah.
But in the moment, they won't know who you're talking about. Only that person will.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, so this was that website. So this is cool. If you want them to like look through a website to text mine for information, you can attach the website in the slides so that they don't actually have to deviate and go to another website.
Yeah, that's really
right there.
Cool. I think I just put a random blank. Oops.
And then 1 of 1 responses. You'll see the answers, but I don't on the student view. I don't see what the percentages are. Only you can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have for now.
And so like for mine, there's a couple of cool slides. Like for this slide, whenever the students are on it, you can ask them like, how are you feeling about the lesson? Or maybe this is just their check-in, like when they come into class, how are you feeling today? You can have them do this. And then maybe you can, on the next slide, have a text box say like, explain why you chose the feeling you feel, or whatever. And this is like a ticket out the door, kind of, one of those exit tickets, a simple one. All they have to do is drag the little blue dot to how they felt about the lesson. And you can either do this as like, how do you feel about what you've learned? Like, do you feel like you've learned something? Or did you like this lesson? Was it fun? Because sometimes, you know, we need to know, we think that this lesson's going to be, you know, mind-blowingly entertaining. And it's just meh to them. So maybe you can see how they actually liked the lesson. And they can drag their dot anywhere in between the thumbs. And then at the end, you'll be able to see where people are. So you'll know who's more confused and lost and what, like, who needs that little extra help and attention. It's kind of cool.
Can you change the text on that? Can you change the question?
Yes.
Okay.
So you just click on the box and, whoops, did not mean to do that. Type whatever it is you want.
Okay. I really like this.
So when do you think you might want to, you know, try to use a Pear Deck slide in class or on digital?
I'm gonna try to use it next week.
Oh, okay, next week.
If I can't get it done by Monday and Tuesday, definitely Wednesday and Thursday. Just because we're starting our books in all my classes next week, so I think that'd be good, just to get them used to it in the beginning.
Okay. Do you want me to help you put together the slides, or, you know, maybe you create it and then I test it?
I like that idea.
You want me to test it?
I think I need to just play with it.
Yeah.
And
that's how I learned.
Yeah, so I can just, I'll put it together and then we can test it.
Okay. Yeah, let me know whenever you want me to test it. Just shoot me the link. And then if you have like questions, just let me know. I'll help you put it together if you want.
I bug you anyway. So.
Yeah. When you use it in class, do you want me to like be here for support, or, you know, you just want to wing it, go with it, and then we can just like regroup afterwards to see how you felt about it?
We can wing it.
Okay, sounds good. Just let me know. Let me test it. If you finish it this weekend, I'll test it this weekend. Monday, Tuesday, I can come back during planning. I can test it.
Okay.
I think it'd be a good idea to aim for like Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
That way I can come in during planning and test it to make sure it's ready.
That's a good idea.
I think that'll work better. All right, sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Yes.